Piglet was lying on his back, sleeping peacefully. Roo was washing his face and paws in the stream, while Kanga explained to everybody proudly that this was the first time he had ever washed his face himself. And Owl was telling Kanga an interesting anecdote full of long words like encyclopedia and rhododendron, to which Kanga wasn't listening.
"I don't hold with all this washing,"
grumbled Eeyore.
"This modern behind-the-ears nonsense. What do you think, Pooh?"
Well, I think...
But we shall never know what Pooh thought, for there came a sudden squeak from Roo, a splash, and a loud cry of alarm from Kanga.
"So much for washing."
"Roo's fallen in!"
cried Rabbit, and he and Christopher Robin came rushing down to the rescue.
Look at me swimming!
Squeaked Roo from the middle of his pool, and was hurried down a waterfall into the next pool.
Little Roo splashes in a stream, lifting its head and paws out of the water. Kanga hurries along a grassy bank behind him, while Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Christopher Robin, and the others follow close behind.
"Are you all right, Roo dear?"
called Kanga anxiously.
Yes, look at me swim!
Said Roo, and down he went over the next waterfall into another pool. Everybody was doing something to help. Piglet, wide awake suddenly, was jumping up and down and making
"Ooh, I say!"
noises. Owl was explaining that in case of sudden and temporary immersion, the important thing was to keep the head above water. Kanga was jumping along the bank, saying,
"Are you sure you're all right, Roo dear?"
to which Roo, from whatever pool he was in at the moment, was answering,
Look at me swimming!
Eeyore had turned round and hung his tail over the first pool into which Roo fell, and with his back to the accident, was grumbling quietly to himself and saying,
"All this washing. But catch on to my tail, little Roo, and you'll be all right."
And Christopher Robin and Rabbit came hurrying past Eeyore and were calling out to the others in front of them.
All right, Roo, I'm coming,
Called Christopher Robin.
"Get something across the stream lower down, some of you fellows."
Called Rabbit. But Pooh was getting something. 2 pools below Roo, he was standing with a long pole in his paws, and Kanga came up and took one end of it, and between them they held it across the lower part of the pool.
Winnie the Pooh and Kanga stand on opposite sides of the stream and hold a long pole across the water between them, while the current carries Roo nearer.
And Roo, still bubbling proudly,
look at me swimming!
drifted up against it and climbed out.
Did you see me swimming?
Squeaked Roo excitedly, while Kanga scolded him and rubbed him down.
Pooh, did you see me swimming? That's called swimming, what I was doing. Rabbit, did you see what I was doing? Swimming. Hello, Piglet. I say, Piglet, what do you think I was doing? Swimming. Christopher Robin, did you see me?
But Christopher Robin wasn't listening. He was looking at Pooh.
Pooh, where did you find that pole?
Pooh looked at the pole in his hands.
I just found it. I thought it ought to be useful. I just picked it up.
Pooh,
Said Christopher Robin solemnly.
the expedition is over. You have found the North Pole.